I have to admit that a week ago I didn't know anything about this foundation. But when Pam and Peter Pelazon asked me to get involved, I was immediately intrigued. Peter works closely with Nicole Boyce. And it was close to my heart because my father-in-law suffers from a rare disease that's actually on the wall out in the front called, and it took me a while to figure out the name of the disease as well. But it was full body myositis, something else, you know. But I get it. I understand how encompassing all this can be because he was retired with his wife in their RV and their fifth wheel touring the world, or the country and the world rather. And it was something like, hey, we're going to New Mexico and we're going to watch these balloons and we'll be back next month maybe, you know. And then it was somewhere else. And it just changed from that lifestyle to I got to find out what's going on. You know, I got to find a doctor. I got to figure out why my body is going through this stuff. So I immediately wanted to get involved, not in this capacity speaking, you know, seeing how I could help, but here I am, and it's an honor to be here, so thank you. For those of you who don't know, I get introduced or start the introduction to Adam Nelson, and he is a fantastic athlete. He, for over a decade, he's been on the top of the world of track and field. He's been to several Olympics. He's been to 5 world championships, and in just those 2 events, he's earned over 7 medals, including 2 silver medals at the Olympics, a gold medal at the world championships. And domestically, when you look at he's done, his success is even more ridiculous, how dominant an athlete he is. Every 4 years, of course, we get to watch the Olympics, and the networks try to tell us what's involved in becoming such a dominant Olympic athlete, but they don't do it justice. The amount of work, the amount of effort, the drive, the perseverance, the toughness. And the toughness is more than just physical toughness. It's mental, working through hardships and body failures and that. It's just amazing. And for Adam to do it for 2 Olympics, 2 silver medals, I don't know, it just kind of blows me away that athletes can be so dominant like this. And so I knew Adam. I had rooted for him on the television, but I really didn't know that much about him. So I Googled him, of course, to learn more. And then I talked to Nicole, and she filled me in on some of the things he's doing with this foundation. And then I had a chance to meet him just a couple of hours ago. And he's going to be up here. He's a massive man. Big chest, strong. The world's, you could argue, he's the most dominant shot putter ever. And I don't know, he's got this massive chest, and I know that that his rib cage and his chest have to work hard to keep his heart where it's supposed to be, because it's bigger. So it's my honor. But before that, Roy Zagami is going to come on and take it a step further.
So my name is Roy Zagami, and my connection to rare disease is through my son, Reed, who's 5 years old and has Sanfilippo syndrome. The man I'm introducing tonight, Adam Nelson, I've known him for 15 years. He's been a close personal friend. We met at Stanford, where I was a graduate student, and he was beginning his post-collegiate track and field career. So we were both from the Deep South, and so in the Bay Area, we were sort of fish out of water. And so we bonded pretty quickly. Like so many old friends, after graduate school, our paths diverged. I went on, started my career. He became a 3-time Olympian, 2-time silver medalist. But, you know, when my son was diagnosed about a year ago, he was one of the first people I called. And for those of you that are patient advocates, you probably understand the surprises you have when you ask for help, both positive and negative. And I'm proud to say that Adam was one of those positive surprises, somebody that stepped up to the plate and actually did something when I asked for help. Fans love Adam because before he throws the shot put, he gets nuts. He gets up there, he yells, he screams, he pumps his fists, and the crowds love it. Track athletes love Adam because he's a leader. He's a man with a business mind and someone that's advancing the industry. I have gratitude in my heart because he picked up the phone when I called after 5 years of not having talked to him and did something. He helped me raise awareness for my son's condition, but also for the Global Genes Project as a whole, and I think that's pretty amazing. So before I invite him up, I just wanted to add some thoughts about how rare disease patients are connected to Olympic athletes. It's not an obvious connection. But I will just say in the aspect of understanding disappointment, Olympic athletes really do that, right? I mean, these guys are the best in the world at what they do. They've become the best in their countries. They've lived their lives training to do something. And every one of them goes in expecting to medal or set a world record. There's only 3 people that win a medal, and people rarely set world records. So they understand disappointment. I don't need to explain to the patients in this audience and the patient advocates what it means to understand disappointment. Most of us are probably not living the lives that we expected to live. On the positive side, I think when I talk about victory, Olympic athletes is sort of obvious, right? We think about winning medals and winning world records, but what does that mean as a patient? For every disease that's treatable now, there was a time when it wasn't. And those people had no hope. And in between becoming untreatable and treatable, there was a set of firsts. And I dreamed that my son will be one of those firsts. And all of your patients, all of your children and family members. And with that, I'd like to invite Adam up.
Thank you. Honestly, I don't even know what to say after those 2 introductions because both Troy and Roy are much better, I think, at talking than I am. You have to understand, I spent the last 15 years of my life spinning around in a circle and throwing a steel ball as far away from me as possible. Yeah, I actually made a living at that. Don't ask me how. I have been truly touched by this whole community and this whole experience that I've had over the past year. Roy reached out to me, and I'm going to be very honest. I've had a number of people reach out to me during my athletic career and ask for help, and I haven't always responded. And I think one of the lessons that I've learned here is that you have to keep asking because you never know when that question is going to meet the right person at the right time. You're going to have to say, or you're going to have to hear probably a lot of no's before you hear that yes that you want. But for some reason, I did answer Roy's call. And next thing you know, I was talking to Nicole and Chris and a number of others, and I started being touched by every one of your stories to the point where I think my wife actually thought that she was going to have to take me in for some medication of my own. I'm a big guy, but I do cry on occasion. And there are some truly inspirational stories that can touch anyone and inspire anyone. So I'm going to kind of segue a little bit. I'm not going to take too long because I can be long-winded at times. But there have been some great words here tonight. And since I think they're a lot better, there are some people that are much better at expressing themselves, so I'm going to repeat what they said. Kelly Seymour started off by saying, and I don't know if anybody heard this, but she says, I feel like I haven't done anything but be a parent. I think that's pretty special. John Crowley spoke beautifully about his own story. And he said something tonight that I think we should all remember, which is hope for people who don't even know they need hope today. That message, I think, rang true with me because, quite honestly, when Roy called me, I didn't even realize that I was looking for something else to fill a void in my life that I didn't even know existed, and that was a need to be a part of a community to give back to. Then I have another one here, and I actually forgot to write the name down. But the patients are our heroes. So whoever said that, that was quite phenomenal. Because you guys really are. I think the people in this room who are who actually have a rare disease or have been touched by rare diseases directly, all of you are inspirations to a much larger public than probably you even realize, including myself. Bill Barkley, you killed it, man. I didn't want to come up here. You said that you're not here for me, that you're here for you. Well, your words were, not here for me, I'm here for you, but that was you saying that. Who knew? A mic. I thought that, and this is another great quote, I thought that was how everyone saw the world. And obviously, he's got a slightly different meaning to that than how I took it, but I think this is also what he meant, and tell me if I'm wrong here. But that you all have a special and unique perspective on how you see the world, and that not a lot of people understand that perspective, because you all are just now, this is the first annual Rare Project banquet here, but y'all are just now starting to form your collective voice to push out that message to the rest of the world. So I hope you all will continue to share this vision. He also said you can't put a limit on things people can do. I think that is awesome. Like I said, I spent most of my life turning in a circle and throwing a steel ball as far away from me as possible. And I've been pretty good at it. But that's because I haven't put limitations on myself. Troy, you said I was a big guy. Actually, most of the guys I compete against are 4 and 5 inches taller and outweigh me by 60, 70, 80 pounds. So I am actually a dwarf in my event. But it goes to the whole point of not limiting yourself and not limiting the others around you. And by not placing limitations on those around you, you're creating an atmosphere that can really create hope. And that's what I think this banquet is all about. And I think that's what I've learned from all the people speaking tonight and from my journey this year. And I'm looking forward to, Nicole, this is your first banquet. I don't know how you top this. But I'm looking forward. I hope I get invited by it. Thank you very much.